A very good morning to the esteemed panel of judges. I, Swasti, am here along with my teammates Aditya, Jayesh, and Muskan, and we are representing Hansraj College from India. It is said that customer perception defines the company's reality. Imagine being a customer of one of the most premium car brands in the world and still being a victim of service failure on part of the automobile manufacturer. That is exactly what happened with Paul Chan, the customer mentioned in the case. Known for its customer centricity, Porsche is one of the world's leading luxury car makers, and the entire debacle with Paul was a huge surprise for Ellen Chow, Porsche China's head of customer relations. Our team is here to dissect what led to this service failure and present our analysis of the company's current situation and recommendations on how it can live up to its customer-centric purpose, thus doing justice to its motto of winning together. Next slide, please. Taycan is Porsche's first all-electric sports car produced at a carbon-neutral facility with networked 4.0 production technology. Its launch in 2019 marked the beginning of a new chapter for Porsche. It gave the world a sports car that covers 300 miles with superb performance, but without a drop of gasoline. Next slide, please. Since its launch, Taycan was met with overwhelming market success. Even during the pandemic in 2020, 20,000 Taycans were sold. In 2021, the sales recorded a new high, overtaking that of the classic 911 model. China emerged as the largest market for the car. Customers were very impressed with the build your own car feature that enabled them to personalize their Taycans. As a result, Porsche ranked first in the appeal study, which measures buyers' emotional attachment and excitement levels with their new cars, and third in the sales satisfaction index. Next slide, please. While Porsche delivers aptly on the product quality front, it falters in the very area it is known for, that is customer service. Let's understand this with an example. Paul Chan is a sports car enthusiast who, after reading countless reviews online, went for a test drive of Taycan. While the model of his choice was not available, he was satisfied with the alternate model that he drove and placed the order. Over the next few weeks, Paul made some changes in the order, well within his right under the build your own car feature. And after multiple time delays, he was finally assured by the dealer David that the production team had been informed of all the new changes. But when the car arrived in Hong Kong, Paul got to know that the requested parts were missing. David offered him some alternatives, but he largely remained insensitive to Paul's concerns. None of the alternatives actually addressed Paul's problem. And after many negotiations, Paul finally got the delivery of the car, but the long and difficult journey left him feeling disappointed with Porsche. My teammate Muskan will now be analyzing these issues in depth.
Thank you, Swasti. Paul's customer journey highlights that Porsche is currently competent in its engineering capabilities with a satisfactory product experience. Even though these aspects matter, the upcoming battleground for car makers is the customer experience. Let's now analyze the gaps that exist between our current performance and where we should be to deliver maximum value to customers. Firstly, the turnaround period of relaying information about the production status to end customer is very lengthy. Even the communication between dealerships and the manufacturer is not seamless with multiple communication lapses. Thirdly, dealers are neither aware of the availability of spare parts nor the production capabilities of the production team. All grievances are currently addressed by the same representative and not escalated to higher management. The mechanism to collect customer feedback is inadequate and lacks focus on complaints received. This must be replaced by quick responses from dealership regarding the production and request status, 100% transparency between the dealerships and the manufacturer, dealer awareness towards availability of spare parts and production capabilities to accordingly manage customer expectations, a comprehensive M&E framework to spot service failures and escalate matters quickly, automated feedback collection to ensure honesty with deployment of grievance redressal system coordinated under senior management supervision. Next slide, please. That must look like an abundance of problems to be solved. However, we diagnose 3 key issues that charge up these causes along the journey of Paul and many other customers like him. The first root cause is that the current business model does not provide a mechanism for customers to have insight into the production journey of the car. They are unable to track the ongoings in real time and rely on dealers to update them at every point. Next slide, please. Secondly, there is an information gap between dealers and manufacturers, indicating towards the need to strengthen these relations and amassing relevant customer data at each touch point. Thirdly, next slide, please. Thirdly, sales personnel lacks training and the requisite administrative supervision required in the complaint management system, reinforcing the need to measure customer experience in a manner that pinpoints the exact area of improvement. Next slide, please. It is also necessary to take into account the industry landscape before recommending any kind of solution. Mass market brands like GSA Honda are able to outperform Porsche in the dealer satisfaction index, where it currently ranks 10th in China. We hypothesize this stems from 2 major reasons. Firstly, there is less customization in mass market brands, which makes it easier for dealerships to track delivery process and vehicle ordering. Secondly, the easy availability of spare parts owing to mass production, which makes it easier to track and use these spare parts. How can we address these concerns in the context of a luxury car manufacturer will be addressed in our solution. Next slide, please. Lastly, market trends signify the increasing importance of selling directly to customers via the online channel, practices which are widely used by companies like Tesla, Volkswagen China, among others. My teammate Jayesh will be explaining the recommended strategy to deal with all of the issues discussed so far.
Thank you, Ms. Khan. Introducing Track Your Dream, a one-stop solution to all of the problems addressed above. Track Your Dream is a platform for Porsche customers to get a bird's eye into each step of the customer journey, from ordering the car to tracking each step of the production process to the final delivery of the car. The solution not only resolves the early analyzed problem of lack of customer insight in the production journey, but also increases information transparency across all stages of the value chain. Buying a Porsche is a special moment for everyone, and the journey right from deciding that you want to get a Porsche to actually seeing it delivered to your driveway is a crucial part of the Porsche experience. Coming to the first phase of the Porsche journey, deciding and placing your order for a Porsche Taycan. Porsche Track Your Dream offers several value-added services to potential customers to maximize conversion rates and build customer loyalty. It was mentioned in the case that Paul had to go through numerous internet articles to finally decide on the model of the car and the specifications he wanted in his Taycan's build. With the concept of community champions, we aim to do away with the tedious research process. Community champions are owners of Porsche cars who shall be connecting with potential customers and addressing their doubts on the platform. Who better to clear up doubts regarding your dream car than people who have actually bought the same? Now you might be wondering, what's in it for the community champions? Well, they earn loyalty points for every transaction that goes through, which can be redeemed for discounts on maintenance and repairs. On to the next feature, test drive bookings. According to a report by McKinsey, 41% of the customers report that the waiting at the dealership is the largest pain point in their car buying journey. By allowing customers to book their test drives online, we not only reduce the unnecessary waiting time faced by customers, but also ensure smooth availability of the desired vehicles at the time of the test drive. Bringing the Build Your Car functionality to your laptop screens, customers can now use the Track Your Dream platform to not only design the car of their dreams as per their desired specifications, but also visualize the end product through a 3D navigable interface. In addition, customers will have the liberty to place their final orders on the platform itself and regularly track their payments till their car arrives. Coming to the next phase of the customer journey, the road from factory to your driveway. Offering a completely transparent interface, car owners can now view their orders across all 14 stages of production, from order creation to different freeze points for upgrades, from regular production updates to final dispatch and dealership arrival, up until it is parked in the owner's driveway. Through the platform, Customers can track the build of their cars through live cameras installed at production workstations, with live updates on the availability of spare parts as well as periodic updates on the estimated time of arrival. The Track Your Dream platform comes equipped with its own countdown clock. Made possible via GPS, the clock accurately displays the number of miles till it reaches the owner, as well as the time until which the car shall be delivered. Lastly, customers can now directly talk with their representatives from the production team to discuss the production upgrades they want to implement in line with the capabilities of the production team. Therefore, it won't be possible for rogue salesmen like David to mislead customers like Paul with fancy updates which are not in fact feasible in the real world. Thus, we aim to eliminate the need for dealership salesmen and their interruptions and the disruptions caused by them in the value chain by connecting the customers directly to the production team through the Track Your Dream platform. The after-sales journey for the customer is equally as important as the product itself. Coming to the after-sales journey offered by a Track Your Dream platform, it shall offer periodic upgradation and replacement policies wherein customers can track the status of their upgradations and replacements placed. It shall also enable periodic maintenance updates for the owner so that the owner is well aware of when his car needs repairs and when he needs to send it for maintenance. Lastly, the option of community champions. Porsche owners can now share periodic updates with their social media community regarding their experiences with the Porsche and as well advice for new owners. Therefore, they can become community champions and help out prospective customers in making decisions regarding their specs build and in return earn loyalty points which they can redeem for free maintenance. On to Swasti, who shall be explaining how the revamped dealership operation model will look like.
Thank you, Jayesh. Now, a large chunk of the problems that were faced by Paul can be attributed to the poor dealership model, with multiple inefficient systems in place causing time delays, too much paperwork, and a communication gap between dealers and manufacturers, due to which dealers do not have the latest information about availability of spare parts or the production capabilities of the unit. We propose 3 strategies to solve this problem. Digitization of dealership operations. Through the Track Your Dream portal, we aim to integrate the functions of car dealerships onto the platform, thus enabling online booking of test drives, order placing, and subsequent updates. This shall not only reduce the margin of error due to absence of paperwork, but it will also keep the individual dealers liable for their promises to the customers. Second, monitoring and evaluation. The customer feedback will be taken with no interference of dealers in the process to ensure reliability of customer responses. If the customer is not satisfied, the complaint will be automatically escalated to the management and redressed within 2 weeks. And lastly, training. Simulation-based training will be given to dealers to maintain customer relations and deal with crises. This will not just be done at the time of induction, but preferably at periodic intervals. Next slide, please. By now, we know that Porsche is known as a customer-centric company. To serve its customers better and identify the exact pain point arising from each order, we suggest an analysis of 15 factors across 3 different levels to ascertain what we call a Porsche positivity score. The PPS is essentially a measure of customer satisfaction. The data collected throughout the order journey is analyzed and classified under various headers as shown in the diagram. A category-wise score is calculated for each of them, and the PPS is determined by taking the average of these 15 factors. For example, if the satisfaction measured for 14 of these factors is maximum, denoting a 10, and for any one factor, say payment services, is moderate, denoting a 5, then the PPS will be a 9.6. Over to Aditya to discuss the impact of our proposed strategies.
Thank you, Swasti. So let's see what the way ahead looks like. We suggest deploying the monitoring and evaluating framework right away. This would help in the escalation of grievances to appropriate leaders and quick and satisfactory redressal. Then we suggest training staff using simulations and crisis handling situations 6 months into 2022. Finally, by the beginning of 2023, the Track Your Dream platform should be ready to go live and offer a frictionless car buying and maintaining experience to the customers. The marketing for the platform would start about 3 months before the launch. Next slide, please. Now we look at Track Your Dream's impact on the customers. So while discussing this, we thought to ourselves, what do the customers really care about? So here it is. Track Your Dream cuts down the wait time to essentially zero. It also makes the customers' lives significantly more convenient since Track Your Dream is a one-stop solution accessible through the comfort of their own homes. Track Your Dream also improves transparency by giving the customer the power to know exactly where and in what shape their car is in just a few clicks of a button. The information provided to the customer is also more reliable since it comes directly through the production center. The live cameras add to the reliability. Finally, Track Your Dream provides 24/7 support and grievance redressal through the live chat functionality. Want to add some specifications to your dream car at 11 p.m. and the freeze time for the modifications is in just an hour? Don't worry. Just log in to Track Your Dream and your dreams and don't let your dreams wait. Wow, Track Your Dream sounds like such a great deal for the customers. But that's not all. It's a dream come true for Porsche as well. Owing to Track Your Dream, Porsche can cut down the time of its sales executives team by up to 50%. And I think we seem to be missing a figure here, but we also estimate an additional revenue of 900 million Hong Kong dollars flowing in within a year of Track Your Dream deployment. Other benefits include reduced error rates, less time spent on coordination between the dealerships and the production centers, better inventory management at both the dealerships and the production centers, and reduced PR costs owing to increased customer satisfaction. Next slide, please. Finally, let's consider the risks associated with our solution. The first risk with a very low probability is a delay in updating the Track Your Dream platform. This can be mitigated through automation via the integration of the ERP, SAP, and CRM systems. The second risk is the risk of supply chain disruptions. A case in point is the semiconductor shortage recently seen. We can circumvent this risk by analyzing customer data and predicting the demand and building up our inventories accordingly. Now, I request Muskan to deliver the concluding remarks.
I think your colleague might have lost the line here, team. Muskan. I don't see her on the screen.
I believe that we are entitled to a 3-minute pause on the timer in case something like that happens.
Moderator, can we pause the timeline? Yeah, I think they're requesting a timeout.
Okay. Yeah, we stop the timer. Now you have 4 minutes to fix. I'm sorry, 3 minutes.
Muskan is saying that she's in the waiting room. Can you please let her in?
Apologies for the network failure. Now moving on to the conclusion slide. The situation at hand was that of Porsche Taycan, a luxury sports car highly demanded in China. Despite its success, Elin Chow, head of customer relations, noticed an alarming case of service failure and recovery in the value proposition. The complications faced were that of an inefficient dealership management and a poor grievance redressal system with significant delays. We tried to answer the question of how to hone the customer-centric approach and increasing dealership accountability. Our answer is the Porsche Track Your Dream one-stop 360-degree portal and app open to customer and dealers, integrating all these relationships strongly with the management of the company and addressing customer checkpoints and satisfaction measurement concerns smoothly so that Porsche can truly live up to its motto of winning together. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. It's now time for the Q&A session. Judges, please make the questions short and concise and leave your thoughts and comments for the feedback session. The 15-minute countdown starts now. Let's hear the first question.
Thanks a lot for your presentation, team. I really enjoyed listening to your thoughts. I guess before we go into that, I wanted to make a quick remark. My father graduated Hansraj College in 1965, economics honors. Just as a side. Anyway, I guess, my first question here, guys, is, your focus on your entire presentation and your solution is all around technology. Is that the only aspect that comes to your mind, and are there any other aspects that you think you could have also focused on to make your analysis a little bit more robust and sort of bringing in all the other aspects rather than just technology?
Thank you so much for that question, sir. I think that's a very important issue to address. So I'll start off with the current trends that we noticed in China. In China, we see that a large volume of transactions happen on e-commerce. Customers end up buying a lot of things online. Now, what is happening and this is a general context with regards to the automobile industry, and even within that, in terms of luxury car vehicles, reports that were conducted by JD Power and credible sources reveal that nowadays customers don't really value certain aspects like test drives because they already place a lot of trust in these brands. No one's buying a Porsche because they want to know if it has good mileage or if it's a good car. They already view it as something that's very premium and it's kind of like a dream to them. They want to own it regardless. So the kind of emphasis that they place at that point of time on, say, something like a test drive is not equivalent to the kind of smoothness and convenience that they want in their online retail journey. So that is one of the reasons why we prioritized technology. Now, I understand that there are other key aspects like a personal touch and the physical integration with dealership touch points. So that's
The time is still running. Does anyone want to add up to?
Or I will add to my teammates' answer. So, sir, yes, our priority is definitely technology, but another focus area is the change of attitude of dealers and the customer representatives towards the actual potential customers. Because even after all of these technological changes, if the dealers continue to remain insensitive to customer needs, then it kind of defeats the purpose of implementing a whole new plan, and Porsche will not be able to reach its fullest potential as far as what it has projected. And for change in dealership attitude, we have suggested a revamped dealership model wherein the dealers will be held more accountable for their actions and the customer grievances will be redressed in a time-bound fashion. And if the dealers are found to be responsible for any such mishaps, appropriate action will be taken based on the company policy.
Okay. Any big picture questions from your side, Alpa?
Yeah, I would. Thank you for that presentation. And don't worry about the tech. It happens to all of us. So just breathe. What I would like to get more insight on is the assumptions that you've made around profitability and decreased costs. If we could go into that a little bit more, please. Yeah, so if you want to just give us some insight as to how you came to these figures and what you're basing them off, that would be super useful.
Sure. Thank you for the question, ma'am. So we essentially measured so there was a McKinsey report that said that 60% of Porsche's target market is going to shift to online purchasing medium in the near future. So based on that, we assume that 60% less people would visit the showroom. And if 60% less people are visiting the showroom, so the sales executive's time is saved. But we also took a 10% contingency that maybe they visit for just a test drive or for some small matter, and we also took it as a contingency for the people who chat with the customers online. So we took a 10% contingency, and thus the time required for the sales executives reduced by 50%. So that could essentially translate into 50% lesser sales executives team. And that is why we said that 50% reduction in costs would happen. Apart from that, we said that we would bring in, like, Track Your Dream would be able to bring in $900 million of revenue. For that, we took a case study where in Canada, a similar platform was launched, and the online sales were boosted by 2.5 times. So we took a conservative estimation that in China, the online sales would increase by roughly 200%. That would mean that we also looked at how much the current sales are. So the current online sales in China are 3,000 cars. So that would become 6,000 cars. And we also took a deadweight loss that anyway, 9,000 cars. It would grow up to 9,000 cars because 200% increase. So we took that 90% of those cars would have been sold offline anyway. So if just 10% of those cars are due to Track Your Dream, and those are additional cars, then that would bring in additional cars of 450, 450 cars, and each car is valued at about $2 million. So that is why we said that $900 million of revenue would flow in.
Thank you, Aditya.
Got it. So is the focus more on sort of the cost side of the equation, because you're talking about cost savings among the dealerships, better inventory management, lower PR costs, etc. I still don't see how the volume increase ties into this, unfortunately.
Right, sir. So the volume, the cost is due to the efficiency that gets generated by the platform. So majority of the cost decrease is due to the customer relation personnel costs. We believe that once the system is more centralized, a lot of the inefficiencies that exist in terms of customer relations, call centers, and systems that are not very organized and that are currently put into place does get reduced. Another important aspect that we realized is that companies like Porsche incur a lot of expenditure on marketing. So we think that with Track Your Dream, which is a platform which is just not a e-commerce website which is selling these cars, but is rather also integrating concepts like community champions, where you're getting all of this at one stop. That's kind of a replacement of a marketing cost, because the tool itself serves like a marketing cost. So that was one area to identify the cost aspect in that qualitative sense. Also, with regards to customer experiences, like Paul's customer experience was noticed by the head of customer relations in a report. But sometimes these customer journeys get amplified via Twitter or other social media platforms, which creates this rage and a lot of PR backlash that comes with it. So with an effective customer journey, we thought that the kind of costs and provisions that are made for PR publicity backlashes or publicity externalities would get reduced. So it's kind of like bucketing it into two different subheads. What are the positive effects of revenue and what are the positive reductions that happen in cost? So this was our interpretation of the cost aspect of the problem. And we thought that while this was happening, due to the online sales and due to a better platform, our percentage of volume would increase, which would also result in additional revenue. Also, in terms of just the direct number, like in addition to the number of units sold, we also inferred that after sales services generate a lot of revenue for these car makers. This is with regards to maintenance, especially for luxury vehicles where these services happen to be very expensive, getting your car serviced at regular intervals. And customers are only likely to get this done at a good frequency if they're happy with the customer relationship. So McKinsey reports clearly cite that there's an additional 30 to like the range of 15 to 30% revenue increase that only comes from these after sale services as long as your customer management is efficient. So along those two lines, we tried to maximize profits and ensure that our top line was at a good level.
To add on to what Muskan said, we made case studies regarding the 911 model and how Porsche implemented a similar platform in Canada, US, and for those models specifically in the years 2019 during the pre-COVID era, when digitization was not that big, it still resulted in increase in online sales by approximately 300 to 400%. So we offsetted it by the average growth in volume that was sustained over the years, and we still saw a 10 to 15% new increase that is generated solely because of the online channel. Thank you, sir.
Got it. Thanks for that. Back to you, Alpa, for any other questions.
No, I don't have any further questions at this stage.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks again, guys. We'll circle back with you in a few minutes. Yeah, well, thanks for your time.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
Thank you all. The judges will now stay in the room to deliberate. Dear team, we will place you in the waiting room and bring you back in for the feedback session in a few minutes. Everyone else, please kindly leave the room and we will see you later for the results announcement. Thank you.